This is Vienna, home to the Strauss Waltz, the Blue Danube, palaces and the Grand Opera. And it's an unusual place for the launch of an all-American people mover, soon to be available in the UK. But the new Chrysler Voyager's factory is just down the road. And what better vehicle than a people mover to do a spot of sightseeing in? Peter, we're here in Vienna for the UK launch of the Chrysler Voyager, and you've not just plucked it off the map as a pretty place to visit, have you? It's been launched here for a reason. Why is that?
Well, the reason is that the Voyager, although it does carry the Chrysler badge, and many people would think it's an American-built vehicle, it's actually built here in Austria, in the city of Graz, which is about a 2-hour drive from where we're standing at the moment. So we thought, let's bring journalists here to test it in the country where it's put together.
You're launching the Voyager into a very crowded market in the UK. There's a lot of established names. Do you think you're a little bit late? Do you think there's sufficient room in the market for you to fit in?
Well, of course, we would have liked the Voyager much sooner because now there are 15 MPVs on the market in the UK, but we couldn't have it because the old Voyager, which this vehicle replaces, only had one side door. And that side door for the UK was on the wrong side. It was, it would mean that the passengers would climb out into traffic, so obviously we couldn't introduce it. This new Voyager, which was introduced in Europe about 18 months ago, now has twin sliding side doors, and as a result of that, we can now introduce it in right-hand drive in the UK. One of the reasons why we think it's going to be popular is that it's the original MPV. It is the first. Many people here in Europe think that the Renault Espace was number one, but the Chrysler Voyager was first produced in late 1983 and has been produced for 14 years. There are 6 million now on the roads in the world, and over time Chrysler has taken the feedback from those 6 million owners to turn the MPV into something which is used and liked by real people. It's that they've got a huge amount of feedback coming in from those 6 million users, and they've turned the vehicle into what we see today. Selling points are, of course, the high equipment levels that are fitted to this vehicle, the twin sliding side doors, the fact that there is a huge amount of luggage space behind the third row of seats. That's a criticism which has been aimed at a lot of MPVs that are on the market, but even in standard wheelbase form, the Voyager does have a huge amount of luggage space behind the third row of seats. The Grand Voyager, which is the long wheelbase version, has even more luggage space, and in theory you can fit 8 suitcases in there. So that is something that you haven't seen on MPVs so far.
So it's not just the family, it's the bags as well. Now the other thing that an MPV has to be, of course, is flexible. How flexible is it?
Well, it's very flexible as far as the seating is concerned. For a start, you can take out the seats in the rear, you can take out the middle row of captain's chairs, you can turn them round. You can't turn around the front, the driver and front passenger seats like you can on one particular MPV. And I've heard people say that when you can do that, you can hold board meetings inside these cars and meetings. Now, how many people want to hold a meeting in an MPV, I don't know. So yes, I admit we can't do that on the Voyager, but the seats themselves are extremely flexible. You can keep them in, take them out, do what you like.
Peter, are you confident that the Voyager is priced competitively enough against the Galaxy, the Espace, and of course the Seat Alhambra, which is a very popular model?
Yes, we believe we are very price competitive. One of the selling points of Chrysler and of our other range of Jeep in the UK is that we are very highly spec'd for the price. The Voyager here comes equipped with the 3As, which are air conditioning, airbags and anti-lock brakes. They're standard right across the range. We have a 3-year mechanical warranty and 3-year roadside assistance, and there are power steering, electric windows, central locking, and lots of other equipment on the vehicle. So apart from being immensely practical, a good-looking vehicle, it's also well equipped. The prices are right there amongst the competition, so I think that take that lot together and we have something that is extremely competitive.
Now the market, there's only so much room in the market for MPVs, there's only so many people out there that want to buy them. What kind of market share are you going for with it? What are you aiming for over the next 12 months?
Well, we have the world's best seller here, and because we have that vehicle that has done so well around the world, we do expect to do pretty well in the UK. We're being fairly realistic with our projections for the first year, but ultimately when we have a turbo diesel in the range alongside the 2 litre and the 3.3 litre petrol engines, we should take about 10% of whatever the MPV market is. To give you some idea, last year 35,000 MPVs were sold in the UK. That's expected to grow in 1997. To what level we don't yet know, but if we can't take 10% of that, then we'll be pretty upset.
If you're in the market for an MPV and the thought of getting behind the wheel of such a large vehicle daunts you, then really don't worry. All the manufacturers have made great efforts to make sure that driving an MPV is an experience that's more car-like than van-like. And I've got to say that Chrysler have cracked it with the Voyager. It's really hard to believe that I'm behind the wheel of what effectively is a minibus. The driving experience is fantastic, visibility is excellent, it's a nice smooth ride, the seating position is comfortable and all the switchgear is conveniently and sensibly laid out. You know, it's the little things in life that sometimes make all the difference. Like this, a handy little compartment for keeping your sunglasses in. Even the 2 litre entry model on the Voyager is crammed full of extras, like all the storage compartments and this thing, very handy onboard computer, so you know the temperature and exactly what direction you're going in. So what don't I like about the Voyager? Well, to be honest, there's not an awful lot. Overall, I think it's a good vehicle, but I'm a woman and therefore I'm going to be picky. And one thing I'm going to be picky about is the pedals. They are a bit too close together for my comfort. I'm not too keen on them. Another is the seats. They seem lovely and soft and comfortable, but you get in them on a long journey and your back starts to feel it after a while. The stereo, again, is far too fiddly for my liking. I like something simpler. I think they should at least have remote control on the steering wheel, and if not, why not do as Renault have done with the Espace? Create this fantastically handy remote control, so it means that the stereo can be operated from anywhere in the vehicle. It saves all those arguments about what channel you're listening to. Whoever's got the zapper, well, they've got control. The final thing, and I think for me the most irritating of all, is the position of the handbrake. Chrysler tell me that it was meant to be positioned way over there, which would have been even worse. I feel that as a woman, I've got quite short arms, I really do need to reach down, and it's quite uncomfortable to get it on. So there, gripe over. I've got it out of my system, and I'm happy now. Let's do some more sightseeing. Under the bonnet of our test vehicle was a 2 litre 16-valve engine with a 5-speed manual gearbox. It's priced at a very competitive £18,395 and is available in either a 5-seater SE or 7-seater LE version. If you decide to go for the 2 litre, don't expect too much in the performance stakes. It's a very heavy vehicle and you need to work hard at the gears to get much power at all out of the engine. A far better bet is a £23,695 3.3 litre version. It's equipped with a V6 engine and a 4-speed automatic gearbox. And even with a full load, it cruises comfortably. But beware, because it's a gas guzzler. You'll be lucky to see 20 miles per gallon, and around town this figure will drop into the mid-teens. If it's load space you're after, then the Grand Voyager is the one for you. Its extra 13 inches in length gives you a vast amount of room.
Well, the Voyager is the original MPV. It is the first that was ever built. It was originally designed in 1983, the original model. Since then it's sold over 6 million throughout the world. It's the biggest seller by far. It's outsold over 14 years every other people mover by a factor of tens and hundreds. And we think that it's because it's the original, because it's so successful, that we'll be successful too.
You knew it was popular, you knew that you were onto a winner. Why has it taken so long to produce a right-hand drive version? Why is it economically viable for you now?
Right, well, it's the reason is very simple, is that it's a new model. This is a new model Voyager, and it was not considered worthwhile to design it in right-hand drive when it was the old model. So with the new model it is, because it's not only going to be sold in the UK, it's going to be sold around the world wherever there are right-hand drive markets. And right-hand drive markets now constitute 41% of the car market outside the United States. So it's a very important step to take, but it's a very important market, the right-hand drive market, to get into. So the two things have coincided really.
What What kind of numbers are you hoping to sell in the UK over the next 12 months?
In the first 12 months, I'd be happy to sell 3,000. That's without turbo diesel in the range. The turbo diesel will follow in about a year's time or so. But once we have a full range of Voyagers to sell, including turbo diesel, I think we'll take about 10% or thereabouts of the MPV market. Because we haven't got turbo diesel in that first 12 months, I think we'll sell about 3,000.
And that's increasing the number of Chrysler Jeep import vehicles on the roads of Britain. And you have a dealer network of, is it 98 dealers?
98 dealers, yeah.
Can they meet the customer demand and also, more importantly, maybe provide the after service that's needed?
Well, certainly. We sold just under 12,000 units last year. We'll take the dealer network up to about 105 to 107 by the end of this year. We feel that's perfectly adequate to meet all the needs for servicing that our customers require.
The Chrysler Corporation in general has performed excellently, hasn't it, over the last 12 months in the States. Does that mean we're going to see more investment in Europe as a result of that?
They've had a very successful 1996. I think they will go from strength to strength. They're a very design-led company. They're a very profitable company. They are a very cost-conscious company, and most importantly, they're design-led. They have a wonderful management team, and I view Chrysler as being one of the most exciting manufacturers in the world today, without a shadow of a doubt.
So what do you have your eye on next to bring over? You must have things earmarked that you think, I could see a place for that.
I know what I'd like to bring over. I would like to bring over the Prowler for myself, but whether or not that will be possible, I don't know. But this coming year, we've got the new Cherokee coming in, we've got a new Wrangler coming in, and I estimate that by the turn of the century, we'll have another passenger car coming in as well. Because right-hand drive is gearing up in Chrysler's eyes, and we obviously benefit from that in the UK.
There was some fabulous concepts that we saw at Detroit. Which of those would you most like to see on the roads of Britain, do you think?
I'd like to see the Copperhead very much, which was the two-seater sports car, because I can see myself in that, apart from anything else.
You're a boy racer at
heart,
heart,
I am
aren't you?
indeed, I am indeed. I like Vipers very much. I think we'll see the new generation of Jeep come out. Whether it will look exactly the same as the Icon, I don't know, but I think that will happen. And I think the four-door Wrangler, the Dakar, will happen as well.
We've looked at many features on the Voyager, but for many, the most important deciding factor may well be the number of cup holders. If you're a family man whose prime fear is the kids getting cola over the seats, then rest assured there are no less than 12 cup holders on the Grand Voyager. We know because we counted them. The Chrysler Voyager is certainly a very impressive package, although it may not be the best value in the world of MPVs. Others offer more extras for even less money. But if you want plenty of space, more than the average MPV, nice extras and a good reliable vehicle, then the Voyager is the one for you. But let's face it, you wouldn't buy a pair of shoes without trying on plenty of others first. So you mustn't buy an MPV without trying out all the rest to make sure that it suits your needs. But in order to try them all out, you're going to have a pretty empty diary. The Voyager makes 16 on sale in the UK. So now let's see, we've done the Voyager today. How about the Galaxy tomorrow? And then maybe the Espace. And then perhaps we could try the Previa, and then the Synergy, the Mercedes V-Class,